Actually, my mom and I, growing up, we were like best friends. She was really fun. And I always wanted to be a mom. I'm the oldest of 5 kids. I'm the only girl, and I had all brothers. Sometimes you can get overwhelmed in just the day-to-day life because there's just so much. When you are so busy and it's so chaotic and it's so hard sometimes, you are just like, oh man, I just can't wait till there's...
Hey guys, welcome back to Unscripted with A and J. Today we are accompanied by my wonderful mother-in-law,
My mom,
Sarah Stephenson.
my birth giver, deliverer of my life.
My baby son.
Thank you, Mom.
Okay, moving on. Today we're just going to be talking about a little bit, what y'all's dynamic was like, mother-son duo, and we're just going to dive right in. And Sarah, I just want to ask what it feels weird to call you Sarah.
I know, my mom. Yeah, you can call me mom from now on, aka mom is Sarah. So
yes,
mom.
Yes, mom.
Yes, daughter.
What was? Let's start from the beginning. What was your relationship like with your mom? What was just kind of what does motherhood mean to you, and how did that translate into you becoming a mom yourself at, 21, 22?
22, well, 21. Yeah, Ethan was born a month before I turned 22. Okay. So 21, yeah. I know. In your mind right now, you're thinking, literally, that would be me in just a little bit of time.
That would be me like a year from now at that exact age. I'm good.
Yeah. So my relationship with my mom, actually my mom and I growing up, we were like best friends. She was really fun. Mm-hmm. She was a really fun mom and kind of the life of the party. But she also had we had our ups and downs and stuff, but she was really great and very involved in my life. And we were very involved in church, and it was a great experience. I mean, obviously there was some not so great times too, but overall it was a really great experience. And I always wanted to be a mom. I'm the oldest of 5 kids, and I am the only girl, and I had all brothers.
Oh, goodness.
And then I had all sons. So I'm waiting for a granddaughter one day. But anyway, so growing up, because I was the oldest, you become like the live-in babysitter, and then I did babysitting. I started babysitting when I was 11 years old, which now I'm like, oh my goodness, money. I can't believe. I mean, maybe I was kind of like Josiah. The hustle was really,
I don't know any 11-year-olds I would entrust my children
12.
with right now.
I know. I was babysitting regularly at 11 years old. So anyway, but so I always wanted to be a mom growing up. I knew that was something that I wanted to do. I didn't know how many. I really thought I'd have more kids than I ended up having. Dad kind of, after 3, he was like, maybe we're done. And I was like, I was trying to have maybe one more, and maybe I'd get a girl, but it didn't happen. But that's okay. I'm ready for my granddaughter one day.
You have 2 daughters now.
Yeah. And I would always tell people, actually what I would tell people is I didn't have my own daughters biologically because the Lord gave me my sons, and my sons would choose my daughters. And so, and it's just been awesome. Both my daughters, my daughter, I don't even like to say daughter-in-laws because you're just my daughters. You guys are awesome. And so I just love you. I mean, I don't think I could have had even any better biological daughters. So anyway, thank you. Thank you, Josiah.
It's all good.
Good job.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh.
For giving you life to be able to be with me.
Thank you, Mom.
Yes, so really I picked Abby
this is transactional.
Because I gave birth to you, and then you chose her, so I kind of...
Okay.
She chose me.
Yeah. I chose Abby.
She chose you.
Yeah. Wow. I've been praying for Abby since before you were ever even born, and especially as you were going through life too. So anyway.
Because you needed me.
But I mean, my mom was always, she was really a fun mom, and we would do fun things with my friends and things. I think I tried to do that some, maybe to the embarrassment of Josiah as a child. I always kind of wanted to be...
Every band concert, she felt the need to stand up and dab.
To dab. Oh, yes.
You did not just do that on camera.
Yes,
bro.
I did it on camera. Yes.
Mom.
Yes. What did your friends say about me?
tell me
That
we
was
got
my.
that.
They literally say, "Whose mom is that?" And I'd say, "I got no idea, guys. I've got no
I
idea."
know. Josiah always tried to be the cool guy.
No. It was just
Yeah.
I did not want to be the kid whose
I
mom
don't know whose mom
dabbed.
that is.
Yeah, it was awesome. It's my job to embarrass you.
That's true.
I mean,
Yeah.
I took it very seriously.
He didn't
So.
have any sisters to do that, so
I know.
That
Someone
is
had
also
to.
true.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was, I mean, my mom impacted me in that way. She was also kind of one of those moms sometimes that did some embarrassing things. And so I just had to like carry the torch for the embarrassment, you know. But and she raised me in the church and loving the Lord, and I am so grateful for that because God has carried me through whenever. I mean, this whole parenting thing is, you know, you don't have you have the word, you have the Bible that gives you some guidelines, but you don't have like how to parent 101. I mean, I guess they have some books out there, but you just kind
it's
of
going to be different for every kid.
yeah, you just kind of wing it and you trust God to help you through it. And so yeah, I mean, I had a great example in how to have a relationship with my children from my mom. She had, you know, good relationships with us growing up. So
Yeah. So obviously there was a lot of fun in y'all's relationship, a lot of kidding around. Can you tell us a little bit more about, and you too, Josiah, like what the dynamic was like with that? Was there ever any time that you really had to like, oh, okay, I'm putting on my mama bear suit? Like, you know what I'm talking about?
So I'm not gonna lie.
Well, we wouldn't want you to do that. We're not asking you to do that. But
Full honest truth.
I am definitely more when it comes to the parental unit
Justin's
of
covering his mouth right now. We're at the switchboard.
of Matt and I.
What's about to come out of your mouth?
So when it came to the parental unit of Matt and I, you know, dad and mom, I was definitely more the pushover. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, really?
Oh, 100%. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mom, I need a little bit of money for this.
Okay, well that, yeah.
It'll just be one
So
more time.
Josiah, I always knew.
I knew Brahms shake right after school.
Oh yes,
Mom.
Josiah. Middle school years, Josiah was all about getting the money to go get
All the things.
Brahms shakes, and he'd be like, "I'll get you. You want me to get you?"
Need me to grab you
Brahms
something?
You
mix.
preyed off of the cravings?
No.
Wait, does he do that now?
Oh, I'm
Hey,
sure
babe,
he
you want
does.
Taco Bell?
Actually,
I can get you.
he's the one
Cheesy
that'll
gordita
want.
crunch.
He's the one that suggests this ice cream.
I
Now
know.
that
Oh,
you
yeah,
say that.
I love ice
I know.
cream.
He
I
would
have
suggest it and
always
say,
loved
"You
ice
know,
cream.
you want some," you know, and so then he would get me some too. But
That's wrong.
but Josiah would come to me.
She got something out of it.
I was the one that usually was
Symbiotic.
willing to, and especially once he had a checking account and we could just easily transfer money, you know, because it used to be when he was younger and he didn't have an account, it'd be like, I wouldn't really have a whole lot of cash on me. And so it wasn't as
Like,
much.
you got quarters for a gumball?
Yeah.
Mom?
But once there was the whole checking account and we could easily transfer, he really banked on that, like literally banked on that. Like, can you just transfer me $5? Can you transfer me $10? And I like added up at the end of the month and look, and I'm like, I transferred this boy
You're collecting your alms in heaven.
a lot
Your
of money.
mansion's going to be really big. You're going to have some really big gold
and
bricks.
dad would be like, I see there's another transfer to Josiah. None of our other kids really asked for transfers of money very often.
Hey, they don't want to play the
But-
game. That's fine.
Josiah,
I
he could
just-
get it out of me. But anyway, I remember a time at Christmas whenever, of course, you know, he was just ready to go open the presents. But he did this whole when he was real little, he got sick one time and was, you know, throwing up and stuff. So then we were worried about him. He was sick, so we moved his little bed. Well, actually, we had a little air mattress. Well, we had a futon, then we had an air mat. Anyway, he came into our room and we said, stay in our room because, you know, he had been sick and we didn't want him to get sick in the middle of the night and not realize it and him choke or anything. Mm-hmm. So he was in the room with us. Well, then that kind of became for a while like, oh, I need to sleep in mom and dad's room for a while. I don't know
here's
how
the
long
thing.
was
and
that.
he came up
Here's
with
the
those
thing.
big doe eyes.
They have
his little
the
freckles.
comfiest bed. They have the most room. You have the dog in the bed. You can cuddle.
Well, you didn't
You
really
can-
sleep in the bed with us.
No,
so
but
that-
later on, it was
oh yeah, he would always come
like-
home from school to take naps in our bed.
Oh yeah, after school nap.
Oh yeah, on Dad's side, always.
Look, it was a bed made for big people,
Yes.
and so not my words, words
It
of
was
my father.
comfy. Yeah, it was
so
comfy.
it had all the
Creature comforts.
comfort. You can kind of sink into it and just be held.
But yeah, so Josiah definitely
Big hand.
definitely
The
spent
hand
some
of God is
time
on that mattress.
spent some time in our room sleeping. Well, then when we were in Holcomb, actually, I have a picture where you were ready, because we told them they are not allowed to go open presents on Christmas morning until we get up and we get settled, and because we wanted to take pictures.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
So Josiah came and crawled in the bed, and I have a picture of us laying in the bed, and he's like, "Mom, we gonna go open the presents?" And he's coming and cuddling with me. We have a picture with him right by my face, and he's like, "Let's take a picture, Mom." And that was what I will say. Josiah loved to take pictures. He's always been into photography, into videography, and he loved taking pictures. You would think that I only had Josiah from some of my Facebook memories. The other boys are on there, but and I
were
felt
like, "Get
bad.
the
No,
camera
only
away from
two
The
of
my
other two
mom."
boys did not
Yeah.
want to have their picture
Josiah was
taken.
like-
And so I do have more pictures of Josiah coming up because he always was ready to strike a pose with me and
Main
take a
character.
picture.
Strike a pose, baby.
Strike a pose.
Yeah, so
Not a dab.
yeah. Oh. You loved it. You loved it. One day you will do something
You
like that
still
with your
love it.
children. Yeah, you still love
I
it.
can't say that
You're
I
gonna
do.
be dabbing at our son's track meet. Just so you
Yes.
know.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, oh, just wait. Let me see what you
Anyway.
do. So anyway, but yeah, so
Aw.
Josiah has definitely, I would call him, he is a mama's boy in most scenarios, but then
Yeah.
whenever it's a really tough situation, I would say he's a daddy's boy.
Oh, yeah.
When it
But you
gets
guys
real
had a real
tough.
close
Oh yeah,
relationship.
but we were
Yeah.
definitely really close. We are probably the most like one another in a lot of ways, even though he's actually a lot like his dad, especially as he's gotten older. I've noticed that more, but especially in his younger years, he was just like the happy-go-lucky, life of the
Life of the
party
party.
kid,
Oh, yeah.
So we got along really well, and he would go in the social settings with me and be all about it and be all about me taking the photos. So of course I loved that. So
I just
yeah.
remember as a kid, anytime you were on the phone, I was like, "Can I say hi?" Oh, it's someone from work. Can I say hi?
I know. He wanted to
Can I say hi
talk to
to them on
anybody
the
that was on the
phone?
phone. Yeah, for sure. And of course I was like, sure,
I'd
let's
be
say
like,
hi. Go say
Hi,
hi.
and then hand it back
Yeah.
over to
I know. And then he would kind of freeze.
That was it.
Hi. Hi. And he had a real high pitched voice. It's so funny because now his voice, is lower, but for a long time, Josiah had a high pitched
Oh,
voice.
it was crazy.
You little baby.
Yeah, yeah. It was high pitched for quite some time. And I think that
You
always,
were the cutest kid.
oh yeah.
Like, I'm not even, honestly, this is such a side tangent, but even when we just met, I remember thinking, I've never met anyone in my life that yawns cute. And somehow you yawn cute. And I was like, this is weird.
It's love whenever you think the yawn is cute.
Yeah, literally the most ugliest face you could make.
Yeah.
But that's why it stood out to me so much. I was like, that's odd. And then I saw baby photos and I was like,
Oh.
give me 10 of them right now.
Oh, but your baby and little girl photos are super cute too. Like your children are, yeah, they're going to be
Yes.
precious.
Moving on. Don't give me baby fever. I'm not ready yet.
Yeah,
Hey,
careful.
I will give you baby fever
careful.
all day, every day.
Was there any moment or just period of time when you realized whoa, like my son's kind of becoming a man, and like how, as a mother, how do I move into this? How do I operate anymore?
Whenever I
'Cause it's
stopped
kinda-
asking for money for Braum shakes.
Have you? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's where it all
Well,
comes
I
from.
will say he was trying to be a man very, very young. And in some ways, trying to be an adult and trying to tell me when and where he was going to do things, and I make my own money and all of this. But really, where I really saw him truly becoming a man is really basically around the time he met you, Abby. I mean, you made him grow up in some way. I don't know what it was, but like he wanted to.
That paint stick.
Yeah, he had been trying to be a man for several years.
Step aside, paint stick.
But he really grew in maturity, I think, right around the time that you all met. And I think he realized,
You've aged me, babe.
Older women.
Yeah,
Cougar.
older women. Yeah, I mean, he grew a lot. He's grown a lot in the last couple of years, for sure. Like, a lot. And even spiritually, I feel like he has grown a lot in the last couple of years. I didn't realize when he was young, because he went through kind of his little wild phase when he was middle schooler and thought he was hiding everything, even though, as a parent, you don't, but maybe not all the nitty gritty, but then he really in high school had a complete turnaround with that kind of stuff, and really there in, I think, Josiah's junior/senior year of high school, he really started to grow in his faith. And then in the last few years, some of the times where he's been like talking to other people and I listen in or talking about the Lord or talking about business, I'm just like, this is my son. I mean, God is, he's the one to give the glory for how he has turned out. But I also try to take a little bit of credit too. Like, this child was produced from my husband and I through Christ, and he is amazing. Like, and all of my boys, really, I mean, they are all so different, but they all have just done amazing things in life already. And look at the tear.
No, I actually had an itch on my eyelid.
Oh, okay.
It was actually an itch.
But I am like just with everything, with A&J and the business and his love of the Lord and your marriage and being a musician. And then even like other people telling me, oh man, Josiah really ministered to me, the other day. Like, I mean, it just, as a parent, it just doesn't get any better than that to see your children thrive and you want your children to be better than you ever were and more successful and, closer to the Lord. And I feel like at the age that you all are at, you have already, like, you've surpassed anything we had done at your age, Matt, Dad and I. So I just, that's a blessing to see that and see that that I've gotten to be a part of that and get to continue to watch it. So
We can give you guys some tips.
okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
Grow up to be like this.
Yeah, and then he says a word like that, and you remember. Oh wait, yeah. He's still got a lot to learn.
No.
Pride goeth before the fall.
It's okay, We'll write a book.
Yeah, that's okay though. That's okay. But I mean, I'm super impressed with where my children are all going, and super impressed with you all. And I mean, there's going to be hard times and stuff, but y'all are doing awesome in your first year of marriage, and love you both dearly.
Love you, Mom. Thank you for the encouragement. Make me cry too, but
Yeah.
So just kind of wrapping things up, what's some of the advice that you'd give to moms raising sons, especially strong-willed and spirited ones like Josiah?
Well, I would just say, first of all, just as a mother, especially, we had 3 kids pretty close in age. So we had Ethan, and then a year and a half, so 18 months later, we had Noah. Mm-hmm. And then 23 months later, we had Josiah. So at one point, we had like a 3.5-year-old, not quite 2, and a newborn.
Man.
And then through life, they were all doing kind of, at one point, all 3 of them were in high school at the same time for 1 year. I think 1 year, all 3 were in high school. And so sometimes you can get overwhelmed in just the day-to-day life because there's just so much. But to try, and it's easier said than done. And coming on the other side of it now, it's easier. And I had mothers that would tell this to me in my young age with young children, just try to take some moments to just enjoy it, even though it's chaotic, but just to sit back because it goes by so fast. And now I'm going to cry. It goes so fast. And so sometimes it's when you are so busy and it's so chaotic and it's so hard, sometimes you are just like, oh man, I just can't wait till they're this age. And then they can feed themselves, or, oh, I can't wait till they're this age because then they can walk and I don't have to carry them, or I can't wait till they're this age because then, then I'll be able to leave them at home for a little bit and be able to go do something without having to pack everybody up. And so you almost start to wish the time away because of maybe some inconveniences in the moment, or you're just stressed or you're tired, but just trying to find ways to get calm and slow down a little bit and enjoy those moments, because like I said, before you know it, there aren't any more babies that need to be fed, and then there aren't any more children that need help, making the sandwich, and then you start to miss those things.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, then that's what's so great about the next generation. I can't wait to experience those things again with my grandchildren, and I'll have a greater, and I think that's why they say, which obviously I don't know yet, but you just hear like being grandparent is like the best thing, and it's even better.
You get all the fun and not
and then
as
you
much
get to
of
send
the
them home. You don't have to
responsibility.
have all the chaos.
You get to load them up with the sugar and then send them back to
and
mom
then send them
dad.
home. And so, but I think also it's the best too, because you've lived a life and understand that, there's hard times and there's things, but you understand the other side of it and how great it really was, because then you have that moment where you miss it.
Yeah.
So then, anytime you have something and then you don't have it, you're like, oh, wait, if it was something good, you miss it and you want it back. So I think as grandparents, you miss it. And then when the grandbabies come, then you get to have it back in a way.
And get to see your children walking through that.
Yeah. So I would just tell mothers to try to enjoy those moments, even when it's kind of hard, or even when you're up in the middle of the night. And I'm like the kind of person, Dad talked about how you'll hear in the Father's Day episode, I guess, a little sneak peek, not all fathers are ones getting up in the night, but my husband, I was thankful he did that a lot, because part of it is he was definitely someone that wakes up a lot easier. I am a person that sleeps very deep, and I struggled getting up in the night, but now every part of me just thinks, oh man, I mean, it would be hard, but I would love one of those just quiet little intimate moments feeding my child in the middle of the night. Like if I would have known, would I have maybe been a little bit more, would I have treasured it a little more? Not that I didn't treasure it in that moment, but there was certainly times where you're just tired. So I would tell mothers to try to get rest when you can and do what you can for yourself in moments in time, so that when you are with your children, you can really try to relish those moments as much as possible, even when it is stressful. So that's some advice I'd give. And just keep the Lord in the center of it all. Keep the Lord in the center of it all. He gives you the strength, because your children can hurt you. They can make you feel the greatest, and they can make you feel the worst sometime too, just because, not intentionally, we all, we all do things when we're children and say things, and it can hurt as a parent, and like, you want the best for your kids. So anyway, just treasure the moments and trust God through all the chaos.
Amen.
Well, thank you so much for sharing,
Oh, thank you.
for joining us here, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.